Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thinking Art Livecast. I am Andrew Glessner. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Wesley Malott.
Woo!
And as always, we have our wonderful producer behind the scenes, Sam.
Hello.
It's good to be back, you guys.
How's it going, everybody?
Hope you're doing well. We're doing all right, I suppose. Wesley, it's been ages since I've seen you. About 2 days,
It has been very many ages. Yeah, I actually saw Andrew over the 4th, sadly.
This is not the face you want to see for freedom, I can tell you that.
No, it's not.
So now
Buddy
give me
came!
back to the British.
Buddy's
Look
in
at
the
him
chat.
saying hi.
Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
Hi,
Thanks
buddy.
for joining us tonight. Anybody else in the chat? Say
hi.
What's up?
Don't say that. Say hi.
It's been quite a while since our last live stream, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. It's been
Since before I went to Hawaii.
That's right. How was Hawaii? How'd you find it?
It was amazing, actually. Hawaii's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the little video I put together of our little honeymoon, check it out. It's on the channel. Buddy says, good. How are you boys? We're good. I'm good.
Doing
Can't
all right,
complain
man.
about anything.
Yeah. I mean, I can complain about a lot of things, and I probably will, but it's not to say that they have any merit.
Buddy says, casual flex before I went to Hawaii. Yeah, that Hawaii trip that I made.
Just stopped in to Hawaii.
Stopped into Hawaii. And LA. I was in LA for a little bit, too. Can't.
I don't
skip that small detail. So we'll wait for a couple more people to join. If they do join, then we'll make our big announcement that we're going to
you want to lead off with the announcement, huh?
Yeah, I want to lead off with it, but we'll wait to see if we can get a couple more viewers. Otherwise, maybe if within like 3 or 4 minutes, if we don't have any more viewers, we'll just make it anyway and then just announce it on Facebook and stuff. But yeah, so did you guys do anything fun for your 4th at all?
Went to my parents', drank beer, celebrated freedom, had some cupcakes, more hot dogs than I should have. And then I came home and hung out with your sorry ass.
You did do that. And we watched, started watching a new show, at least Andrew did. I've seen it already. Ted Lasso. If anybody hasn't seen it, highly, highly recommend watching that show. Started
and finished.
So you finished it already?
It's
good, isn't it?
What a positive just delight.
Yeah.
If you have Apple TV, watch Ted Lasso. If you don't, I'll give you Wes's login information so you can watch Ted Lasso. It's fun.
Daniel Hucks, Turducken Huckin into house. What's up, Danny? How you doing?
That is now your nickname. I'm calling you that from now on. Turducken.
That's quite an amazing nickname.
I like calling him the Huck Thruster.
The Huck Thruster? I like that.
Thruster. Yep. By the way, if you want to support Danny Hucks with his comedy, he does sell T-shirts that says Danny Hucks sucks. They're delightful, if not a bit demeaning. All proceeds go to him, and he's a wonderful fella, terrific comic. I recommend supporting him as much as you can. I don't have any T-shirts, but if you just want to give me money, that's okay too.
We do have some T-shirts, actually. Merch is in the description below. Get your Thinking Art T-shirts. Get some Killer Bee Killed posters and canvases. And also, we have a Patreon, which if you're a fan of our channel and want to directly support it, sign up to become a member and get exclusive, longer behind-the-scenes videos and early access to all our videos. Quick plugs, since we're talking about that
Might as
stuff.
well. Yeah, now we got a little... You come a little upfront time, which is always super intriguing for the viewers, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it has been a while since we've done a podcast or a live stream podcast. But so tonight we're just going to make our big announcement, and then we're just going to kind of talk about some of our favorite set stories. And then either next week or the following week, very soon, we'll send out an announcement on YouTube and Facebook and whatever. We're going to have Chloe Carroll and Brittany Snyman on to talk about the short film Alicia, which I directed for Fear Crypt. So, exact date of when that live stream podcast with those two to be announced. However, we are going to make the big announcement. I feel like we've kind of prolonged this as much as possible. Wish we could have gotten some more viewers in the house before we made it. But so the big announcement. We made a short film called Stalked last Halloween, and it's it didn't get released for Halloween, but we have started entering it into the film festival circuit, and we had just gotten news that it has been accepted into and will be screening at Joe Bob Briggs Mutant Fest next Friday at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. So very exciting news. Give us a hand to the crew and cast.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty fantastic. Very excited about that. That's cool.
So another opportunity to catch Stalked on the big screen, and it is a giant screen. I think it's the biggest drive-in movie theater on the East Coast.
Nice. Where's that at, Mahoning?
Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. So Joe Bob Briggs will be there to personally introduce films and also hand out any awards. So that's pretty cool. So if we win an award, he will hand us the award, which is pretty awesome.
That's killer, actually. It's fantastic.
I have never met a celebrity in my entire life, like not even seen one. Well, actually, I kind of saw one. However, I've not actually met one. So I just want to win. I can say that I met a celebrity in some capacity.
You've met me several times, and I find
You're
that
not a
really
you're
insulting.
An
oh, it's kind of the same thing when you really think about it.
That's our big announcement.
I'm an asshole.
I'm an asshole. You. Yeah, so I will be there in attendance. Not sure who else will be coming, but hopefully, some other cast crew will be there to see it on the big screen again and get to meet anybody that comes to the screening. Buddy says Andrew is the top celeb I know as well. Oh, Buddy's gonna be. So this is really cool. Buddy is actually in a short film that's coming out very soon. Buddy, drop a release date info in the chat if you can. Basically, I was going to say energy drink. It's not an energy drink. The canned water known as Liquid Death made a 45-minute short film to advertise their product, and Buddy is one of the starring roles in it, which is pretty cool. So really looking forward to checking that out, Buddy.
So there you go. Officially, Buddy might be one of the most celebrities. Actually, I don't know. Our celebrities. We're all coming up. All of us. Top celebs. We're getting there. That's exciting.
Hey, I hope that everybody I know becomes famous. That way I can, borrow money from you guys and stuff.
Yeah. If I get famous, I'm definitely forgetting you immediately.
That's rude. So Buddy says this Sunday is the advanced screening online, and then 3 weeks or so to Apple TV and Prime. That's pretty awesome. I didn't know that it was going to Apple TV and Prime. So what does the advanced screening online entail? Is that just like a YouTube link and it'll just be up for the night, or is it just like a premiere event, or how does that work? I'm going to take a drink here.
Do it. Go ahead. And while we're waiting for Buddy to respond to us, Danny said Mike is doing really weird robot-y things. Is that Wes's mic or my mic?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
My connection.
It's all robot-y.
Let me kill that. Let me know if that helps at all. Hello. How is the sound now? I don't know if I can do much else.
Less robot-y, I assume. We'll deal with it.
Is it better?
Sure. Yeah,
So it's less robot-y now?
Yeah,
I guess I can't have the... Oh, let me do this too. Yeah. Hopefully taking my phone off the Wi-Fi helps. Danny says, doesn't need more have a town hero. Every small town has to have a guy who returns home to a hero's welcome after going to a college or war or something. This is true. Andrew, you could be that guy.
I think when I go home, they're just like, no one cares. All 7 people in need more.
Yeah. All 7 people are in the chat. No. Buddy says, I believe so. Wish I knew more. Haha. It's showing at a theater in LA at the same time. That's really cool. The short film is called Dead Till Death. Dead Till Death. Buddy says, but that's also great for Stalked. It is. I'm really excited for everybody involved with the production. Rob Cacagna, hola, amigo. Rob is in the house. He was the writer of Stalked. So let's give it a hand to Rob for the Mutant Fest news.
Because Rob, I don't know if you heard the news, but Stalked did get into Joe Bob Briggs' Mutant Fest. We play there Friday. I don't know if you already knew. Probably. I don't know.
For anybody that isn't familiar, well, I mean, no one is familiar probably. The Joe Bob's Mutant Fest is one night. It's Friday night, but it is part of the Joe Bob's Drive-In Jamboree, which is like a 4-day festival that they're having at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. And the film festival portion, the indie film festival portion that they're doing on Friday night, specific to indie creators who don't have, like a big platform or anything like that. So they're not taking films that are publicly available or anything where, massive amounts of people have seen the stuff. So this is really good exposure for anybody that has submitted and gotten accepted into the festival. Only 10 short films are screening there, so Stalked is one of 10 accepted.
I mean, doesn't surprise me one bit. I know what we did. Stay humble.
Creator Crossroads, Mike is in the house. Thank you. Good to see you, Mike. Hope you're doing well. Danny says, I tried to heart Buddy's comment to show love, but the only option was to report it, so I did.
It's the same thing.
Buddy says, maybe they'll verify me if I get reported enough times. Buddy, do you still do Twitch streaming? I used to hop on Buddy's midnight Twitch streams and play marbles with him.
Marbles?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Like online marbles?
Yeah, you do nothing but watch a marble roll.
Yeah.
But
that's what you do when you actually play marbles.
You root for it.
Oh, like marble races. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. You bet on that? You gamble? Some action there? It should be.
Buddy, let's bet on it next time. Buddy says, Stalked really felt next level to me, taking myself out of the movie. It truly felt like a movie. Thank you, Buddy. That's because we had an awesome cast and crew that worked on the movie. I don't know if we should get into the stuff we're working on behind the scenes or not. Probably not. We should probably wait till we have more definitive answers before we actually make any announcements. But we're working on stuff behind the scenes related to that short. So
doing things. We'll see.
But he says, yeah, been about 2 weeks though, traveling all over the place. We open Pokemon cards and race marbles. I love the racing marbles. I have no idea what they're doing when they do the Pokemon cards, but the marble racing, yeah.
You have no idea they open cards and then they tell you the name of the monster, right?
I mean nothing to this. So with the big announcement out of the way, I wanted to talk tonight about some of our favorite set moments and maybe tell a couple stories pertaining to those favorite set moments. So I will pose this question to the chat. We do have a couple of filmmakers in the chat, and I will also pose it to you, Andrew. What have been some of your favorite or most memorable set moments?
I've had a lot.
Putting you on the spot.
If we're going just kind of I'm going to throw it back really quick because I think this is one of the funniest stories.
Mm-hmm.
The time I full frontal flashed Derek, our sound guy at the time, was probably one of the most hilarious on-set moments.
Was that when you were naked in the bed and binge?
Yes,
And
yes,
you
it
tried
was.
to get out of the bed,
Yep.
and I think you tried to grab a cover, but it fell. But you were like right in front of him.
Yeah, something like that. So we're shooting a scene for the movie Binge that we made, and I'm in my underwear, like I'm supposed to be waking up from kind of like a bender, and Wes looks at me in between takes one time, and he goes, "Hmm." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Do you And you just tell he didn't know how to ask. He was like, "Do you want to try this naked?" And I was like, "Sure." So, I dropped everything and then kind of cut the jewels, hopped into bed. And then at one point, I hopped up really quick, and then he called for the sound guy to come in. And as he did, he rounded the corner, he walked right in, saw me full frontal, closed his eyes, turned around, and just walked right back in. And then yelled something.
You make it sound like it was like a sound guy we hired or something. It was
No,
Derek,
no.
our friend of like many years, who has seen you naked.
I was going to say, there's a good chance this was not the first time. But just caught him off guard is all, and it was quite hilarious.
Buddy says, "Oh, you were making a spicy film." We were making a spicy film.
Just going to add a little spice.
Buddy also said, "Spill that tea in the DMs." Buddy, I will DM you about what's going on. But yes, taking it back. So Binge with flashing Derek was your most memorable.
I mean,
out of everything we've done, flashing somebody.
I thought it was a good place to start.
Fair. A good place to start for me is probably the first night we ever filmed anything, which was the robbery sequence of a poker game in our first feature film. God knows why we did a feature film if you ever Blind Circumstance. And at this point, none of us had any experience whatsoever. And I was literally, I think I talked about this on the stream before. I was literally like running around with the camera, had no idea what I was doing. We didn't block anything. We didn't rehearse anything. And I remembered just pointing the camera to follow an actor, and I caught Derek, our sound guy, in the shot, and he just looked directly in the lens and then just sunk down.
See, we both open up with tales of catching Derek off guard.
Which, speaking of tales of Derek and off, this was actually, so if anybody has watched any of our short films or anything, Derek was actually the star of our short film, The Duel. And this was actually going to be the one I brought up because it's probably the hardest I've ever laughed. And that was filming the scene where Derek was trying to give himself oral.
Yeah. Okay. That was great. There were a lot of really fun moments in that whole montage scene where just letting him kind of go to town, so to speak.
On himself.
On himself, with himself, by himself. No, he had...
I think you were there, Sam, weren't you? Oh, no, you were there the day before.
Yeah, I was not there for that one.
You missed out.
Definitely.
Danny
asked. I would have absolutely remembered that.
Danny asks, did Derek succeed? Sadly, he did not. Sadly?
I was rooting for him.
Buddy says the duel needs way more love. It's ridiculous. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, that was one of those ones where I remember there was a point where, like, no, we're artists. We take ourselves seriously. And then we made the duel, and I'm like, not too seriously.
Yeah, that was our first attempt at, like, really ridiculous humor, which kind of, like, is right up our alley. But, you know, we have kind of, before, everything we had done until that had been pretty serious.
Yeah, everything had a more dramatic appeal to it. We're like, let's just make one that's just like the silliest, stupidest thing we could possibly come up with. And was the Duel.
So another moment on set that made me laugh, like probably the hardest I had ever laughed on a set before, was Date, Click, Repeat.
Okay.
And it was whenever the scene where you were trying to give Lauren a kiss.
Yeah.
And we had the camera set up like right in front of you as like a POV of like, this is Lauren, and we had you munching on lettuce trying to get like lettuce stuck in your teeth.
Uh-huh.
I think we did 11 takes of that or something because the lettuce kept just moving around in your mouth.
Yeah.
But then we were trying to get it to stick and you were putting more lettuce in your mouth, but it was then sticking all over the place. So you just had like basically like fully green teeth at one point. But there is actually, and I can grab a link, in the making of Date, Click, Repeat, the on-set experience, there's a brief montage of that, and I'm pretty sure you can hear how bad I was dying behind the scenes.
Well, and the weird thing too is like, because we wanted to stick to the front of our teeth, so as I'm eating the lettuce, like I'm just taking giant handfuls and just munching them down with the front of my teeth. So I was just like lettuce hanging out. It's pretty fun. It made I had a lot of lettuce. I think I ate like a whole bag trying to make that.
I'm trying to
find it.
No, I'm trying to read the. Danny said, "I love the scene where Andrew spoilers."
Oh yeah, we're just giving it all away. Well, Danny, if you watched our movies, it wouldn't be a spoiler.
Oh yeah, I guess Danny hasn't seen them.
So,
Buddy said, "Lead from the Duel ridiculousness in anything that happened in the Out of My League pool table." Yes, there was a lot of insanity that happened in Out of My League too.
I'm pretty sure Buddy caught a finger on that. I don't.
Buddy says, Andrew sounds like this is the first time he's heard this story.
The lettuce story?
Maybe. Pixel Pia. Hey, Pia. Thanks for stopping in. How are you doing? Got quite a few more people in the chat than we started out with. So welcome, everybody, if you're just now joining us. Also, if you're just now joining us, Stalked, our short horror film, will be screening at the Mutant Fest, which is next Friday at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. That was the big announcement that we made at the top of the episode. And now we're just talking about our favorite on-set moments.
I just saw Buddy's company. He said he got a full-service oil change on set of Out of My League.
I get it.
Believe it.
I can tell you one moment that is probably not Buddy's favorite was when he locked his keys in his trunk on the set of Killer Be Killed.
Why is he gotta do it? Why is he gotta take it there, Buddy? He's always just making it negative.
After being soaking wet for half a day.
Yeah, Killer Be Killed was one of those ones that was great to make, and it turned out amazing. Once the camera started rolling, I don't know that there was a whole lot of fun to be had. Because it was just
very fun.
Such a brutal shoot.
I got a concussion on that set, I'm pretty sure. So that's a story, I guess. So we can dive into that. So on the third day of Killer Be Killed, we were having weather problems, as you probably know if you've seen the making of. And we were dealing with, like, basically it would get really sunny and then it would get really cloudy. And so we just had to keep waiting for it to get cloudy, which put us, like, I don't even know, like 2 hours behind schedule or something. And we had all of the crew and everybody kind of go get set up for our next big scene, while Andrew and I tried to go off by ourselves and grab a couple shots that we still needed to get and kind of kill two birds with one stone. So we would film that stuff while everybody got set up. And I was filming Andrew running, and I was running backwards with a camera through the woods, not on a trail, and I tripped over a stump and just drilled my head off the ground, and that laid me out, I think, for like 2 hours.
It's done wrecked. Oh shit.
What?
So it's done wrecked your whole shit.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was. Well, even that, like when you didn't do that, me as a fatter fella at the time, in the middle of August, in suit pants and dress shoes, running repeatedly for hours through the woods. I was just like, I hate every damn thing about this. But then on the inverse, when we shot in the beginning of spring for that, and we were in the creek, it was just like I was freezing at one point making that movie, and I was exhausted and thought I was gonna have a heat stroke at one point making that movie. There was a lot of extremes going on there.
Buddy says just audibly laughed at not much planning once we started rolling. SCP Short Stories. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Good to see you. Buddy also says, but also we had Chick-fil-A nuggets that day. We did. That was
Nuggies make everything better.
probably my favorite lunch that we've had on set.
My favorite thing about that too, though, is everybody had kind of eaten while Mike and I were on the water. So when we got back, there was whatever was left of the nuggies on the platter. I think we just kind of mutually agreed that we're going to eat all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I agreed. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I had like 46. Is that a lot? It's a lot of nuggies.
I had a lot of nuggets.
Okay.
Buddy says, I actually didn't know you got hurt. Yeah, buddy, I got hurt kind of bad there. And what's bad is, Matt Hacker and Brian Schwenk kind of took over for a little bit while I went and kind of just laid down in the car and kind of just rested because it gave me like the worst headache. I was getting like nauseous and everything. And so while I was kind of resting and taking medicine to try to get kind of back on my feet, Matt was directing and Brian was operating the camera, trying to get us caught back up to speed. And then I had to force myself to direct and shoot in like 90-degree weather, not feeling probably like 50%. And we were down somewhere else, and I took another fucking tumble that day where I slipped and fell trying to go down a bank. So that was not a good day for filming for me.
So nature cares not for what you hope to accomplish. Does its own thing.
Danny says, how many concussions have you suffered for your art? I think just the one, but I did take another tumble on another set. I don't know if you remember that one, Andrew. When we were filming Binge, we were filming a scene in your bathroom, and we had the camera up on the crane, and I was standing on the bathtub, and I don't remember what happened, but the crane tipped backwards, and I slipped and took the entire bathtub to my back.
I do remember that. That you broke your spine.
Spinal.
Spine. My back is broken. That's the worst, Tyson, I think anyone's ever done.
And somehow I caught the camera and it didn't break or anything.
So. Sacrifice your body for the equipment. That's the important thing. Go
ahead.
I took a pretty nasty tumble on Binge too, and I was tied to a chair and I fell backwards. I thought I broke my thumb.
I do remember that one. That was the first. You're usually a pretty good sport on set, even though like in like miserable conditions. Like, I don't think I really heard you complain in Kill or Be Killed, even though you're like soaking wet and it was not warm that day. Yeah,
it wasn't great, but it's like we got to get this shot, so let's just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was one of those moments where I think I hit over
rock
because it
bottom.
was because I was also soaking wet there because I was having fake alcohol dumped all over my person. It was like 19 degrees and we weren't running that salamander heater, which we couldn't do during shooting, so we had to kind of heat up the room and then let it cool down gradually as we were filming, and then we'd be able to kick it back on in between. And so I was cold, wet, tired. I think I had worked a 10-hour shift at my job that day and then came and filmed. And it was like pretty early in the morning at that point. Yeah. And I'd fallen back, like just thought I broke my finger. And I was just like, I'm not okay. And you're like, you want to take a break? And I'm like, nah, I'll use it.
Pia asks, am I settled into my new home? I am. I don't know. It's kind of a home, not really. It's just an apartment, but it's home for now. But we are all settled in. Thank you. How about you? Did you move yet? Andrew said in the chat, I'm up to a baker's dozen concussions.
Up to baker's
Danny
dozen.
says 5 concussions and you get a free coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. Got 4 more to go.
No one told me that. That's fucking ridiculous.
Buddy says, ouch, dude. Final. And Danny says, y'all would be safer playing football. I'm down to play some football.
Yeah, I was gonna say safer, maybe better. I doubt
it. Not better. I would really like to make a sports movie, like a legitimate sports movie, not just out of my league pool movie. Like
I was gonna say, we made a sports
football,
movie.
tennis, or like basketball or something.
And I won Best Actor for that.
Get those. You did not win Best Actor.
Yes, I did.
You won Best Character, Best Use of Character.
Yeah.
Rob says ice hockey, and I want to be in it. Deal, Rob.
Oh shit! Can we make like the somewhat okay Ducks?
Pia says they're all settled in down here in the heat. Pia, you're in Florida now, right? So for everybody that doesn't know, Rob Cacagna was the writer of Stalked, and Stalked is playing next Friday at Joe Bob Briggs Mutant Fest at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Lehighton, PA. Pretty cool. Really excited to see that.
Also, for those of you who don't know, Rob is handsome as shit.
He is teen heartthrob, Rob.
Tiger Beat.
Pia says she is in Florida, Emerald Coast. Are you in line? Are you in like the hurricane line? Stay safe down there.
It's Florida. It's all the hurricane line.
Danny says, make a movie where Andrew is a retired curler who comes home and to use the skills he learned to take on the local drug lord.
I said I'd never curl again. This point is curling a crack. I choose the curl.
Making a curling movie would be awesome, especially because I know 0 rules or anything about curling.
I don't think the professional Olympic curlers fully understand. I think they're like, well, we just have a couple of beers and then we go out and push this fucking thing with a broom.
If you guys are into curling, you should watch. It's an LMFAO music video with Jamie Foxx, and I think it's the music video for a song called Yes. But the whole entire premise of the music video is that Jamie Foxx is like this down on his luck curler, and he's like a janitor in this like sports arena, and LMFAO needs another team member, and Jamie Foxx just happens to be in the vicinity, learns about it, and then ends up helping the team pick up the W for the curling competition. So if curling's your thing, check out that music video.
I am gonna watch this.
So he's like the wise janitor / curling legend. That's fun.
Definitely gonna watch that.
A workout. Get it? Because it's LMFAO. What happened to them? They fell off pretty hard.
No.
Thought they were.
I
thought
think,
Party Rock was forever.
I think the two dudes had like a falling out.
Oh.
They're like nephew and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Pretty weird combo there.
Yeah, it is. Buddy says bobsled team. Yes. Needmore had a bobsled team. That's a unique one.
Doesn't even.
Exactly. That's a weird one.
That could work. Actually, going back to that, we were talking, discussing Needmore. I remember there was a meme going around for a while, and it was like, tell us where you're from by mentioning the most famous person from there. And I was like, who's the most famous person from Needmore? And I think I messaged Wes, and I was like, I don't want to sound like a bunch of arrogant pricks, but it's got to be us, right? It's like, and we've done nothing, but we've got to be the most famous people from Needmore.
There's probably, I mean, my uncle.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He's been on TV and stuff before.
I mean, I've been on TV and stuff before.
He was on one of those like Maury or something like that.
He was on Maury.
It
wasn't
Maury, but it was a television show like that. Maybe Steve Harvey. It might have been Steve Harvey's show.
Fun question. Why?
I'd never seen the episode. I just know he was on it.
Okay. We gotta find that because that sounds quite enjoyable.
And then he would just randomly be on TV whenever they would show him in the pit crew because he works
in
for
the pit.
NASCAR, or used to be in the pit crew in NASCAR. Danny said the Party Rock Anthem playlist on Spotify is just 100 different versions of the Party Rock Anthem. Buddy says there is no more famous than Mari. Danny asks, does Needmore have a town drunk? Yes, and he is Andrew.
I'm trying to think if I don't know that I don't know. Is that Arnold guy who lived in the bus down by the creek still alive?
I doubt it.
There's no way, right? Like he had to have been dead for like 10 years at this point. We had this guy in town who he lived in a bus by the creek, and he would walk every day to check his mail, and usually he would just get like penthouse. And he was drunk pretty much the entire time. He was a strange fella. I boxed him once.
I remember that. Andrew beat the crap out of a homeless guy, basically.
Hey, whoa. Hey, hold on. That is the worst context. Let me.
What was your name? Batman?
Hold on. No, for context, we all, in high school, we got pretty big into boxing. So we'd all backyard box pretty much all the time. Arnold was walking down the street one time, as he did all the time. He saw us boxing. He came over and started talking to us. And he was like, "Oh, what are you boys doing? You boxing?" I was wearing like full headgear and boxing gloves. It's like, "Yeah, Arnold, that's exactly what we're doing." And he's like, "All right, then." He went to leave. And then my uncle, kind of under his breath and like covered his mouth as Arnold was walking away. He's like, "Hey, Arnold, you want to box?" And he turned around at the time. I was the only one with gloves on. So he looks at me. He's like, "Hell yeah, I'll box. Which ones you some bitches want to box?" He points at me. He's like, "You?" And I'm like, No. So he's like, "All right." He comes at me with his hands up. He's not wearing gloves. He's completely barefisted. And he starts like throwing jabs at me. I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to have to hit this old man." So I'm like moving back and he keeps coming. And then I just like came over with a hook and dropped. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I got a guy coming at me. I have to. I had gloves on.
To be fair, Andrew tried really hard not to box him. But the guy was literally throwing punches at Andrew. And
look, if a man is insistent upon getting his ass whooped, I am only to oblige.
I completely forgot about that until you brought it up. That's amazing. I was probably like 12 years old or something.
Oh, you could have been that young, because I think I was like 16 or 17. So you're like 13 or 14.
Like 13 or 15.
15. You're not a boy, yet not a woman. Not a good. Yep, Britney Spears, that song. Free Britney.
Buddy says in high school we all fought homeless men. Glad to hear it wasn't just us, Andrew.
Fought
or just
homeless
you.
men?
I should clarify.
That's
You.
What Buddy said sounds way more aggressive than what I just described.
There was another story I was gonna tell, but I forget what it was. Oh, as far as like most memorable or favorite set moments, I just wanted to talk about how my personal favorite, and this isn't taking, this shouldn't take anything away from all of the other set experiences I have had, which are, overwhelmingly positive. But one of my favorite things to do, and this isn't necessarily on set, but it's the 48-hour film project, because like nothing more fun than actually sitting in a room with the people you're about ready to make a movie with and just shooting out whatever ridiculous ideas come off the top of your head and just seeing what sticks. And it's like 8 people in a room just spitting the craziest nonsense out and just writing a story on the fly based off of the required elements. And that to me has been my favorite moment on working on film, is just collaborating and making gold in a weekend. Because like Buddy brought up the pool table stuff on Out of My League. I don't even remember if that stuff was scripted.
None of it was.
I don't
know. We all just winged it.
They just put that on the fly, and it's so fun.
Yeah, so Buddy and Katie's action was they were winging it, and then my enticements, I think we had it like written in the script that it's like I would entice or something like that, distract. But yeah, that was all winged. We just winged all of it. No, and that I'm with you actually. I think probably the best times I've had were doing the 48, because it is, when you're making a regular film, you have some downtime, you're able to kind of sit back and just relax. You have some moments offset, like when the cameras aren't rolling. But when you're making the 48-hour, like the entire process is an experience in of itself, and it is a blast. Except for the drive back into Philly to hand off the film, everything is fun.
And the editing isn't fun, but the writing, the shooting, it's some of the most fun I've ever had making a movie. And I kind of hope that hour comes back this year, because like I've been low key hoping that they would, just to get that experience again. Because I don't know, like we're kind of working on the stuff behind the scenes. I'm not going to get into details, that are kind of taking our careers in a pretty different trajectory. And I don't know how many more times, we're going to get to do something like the 48-hour film project. So it's kind of hoping that they do it this year, kind of so we could do like one last hurrah, kind of.
Yeah.
Pia says, love the behind the scenes from the 48. Thank you. And that's actually one of the reasons I kind of wanted to talk about our favorite on-set moments and stories, because I initially started making the behind the scenes videos as kind of like not only kind of like just a kind of time capsule for us to just look back on and see how far we've come, or like remember the fun times of making that project. Because sometimes you don't always remember the good times. You kind of look back and you see all the stressful events, then the problems and the obstacles that you had to go through. You don't remember those positive moments. And when you're capturing the BTS and you're editing all that stuff together, you get to realize like how much fun you actually did have while on set. And I was watching the Out of My League behind the scenes recently, and I just remembered like that was one of the worst experiences in terms of like losing a lot of sleep and getting physically sick to my stomach because of stress. However, the shooting and the brainstorming and everything was one of my most favorite moments from making a movie ever.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. Danny asked, what's your least favorite on-set moment? Anything related to Reaper?
Oh, God. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
I was going to say, I
Danny
can't
says,
get as into that as I'd like, but yeah.
we won't talk about that one. That was a film we worked on for somebody else, but we won't talk about that one. If you're curious, you can DM us, but we won't make any of that public. Danny says my make a wish is to do the 48-hour film festival. We can make that happen for you, Danny. But he also says I got my own workout highlight video, and yes, you did, buddy. I've been pumping.
Juice?
I'm juicing. Nope, just cornflakes. That's a real quote from somebody, by the way.
A deep cut. That is an inside joke.
My least favorite set moment was probably getting the concussion on Killer Be Killed, because like not only did I physically hurt myself like really bad to the point where, you know, I had a horrible headache. I was physically sick and nauseous, but like I had so much pressure on my shoulders that I just felt like I was letting everybody down and there was nothing I could do about it.
It's fair.
Pia says the drive into Philly was nerve-wracking for the 48. Yes, they are. Danny says, I need deets, and he'll bug Andrew to give you the details on the ride to the zone tomorrow. Yeah, you can you can do that all you want. There's some good stories from that shoot, but we won't get into those.
We can, but I'll fill you in.
Danny says, Wes, I'm going to hug you when I see you. Please do, Danny. I need one.
Danny's a hugger. He's a good dude.
Any last so for anybody in the chat, any last minute questions or anything? We're going to wrap this up here in the next couple minutes. Andrew, do you have any closing thoughts on any stories that you wanted to tell from set, or were anything that you wanted to touch on from your most memorable set experiences?
I think we kind of talked about most of it, but I think one of my favorite things that we've ever done, and it's just so underrated, when I hosted Behind the Short for the 48-Hour Film Festival, we had the outtake video. That is quite possibly one of my favorite things that I've ever set, because it was just you and me being a couple of stupids. And an intro that I think was maybe a minute and some change. We probably spent like 2 hours just being jackasses filming. And it was fantastic. It was a blast. It really was. But that's always my favorite.
There is actually a full blooper video devoted to you filming that intro, which I will put in the link. I'll put in the chat.
You guys should definitely check it out. If you haven't seen it, it's fun.
Which leads me to another one that we did when Michael Mowen hosted Gear. He kind of had a similar situation where YouTubing looks easy, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not.
Being a vlog guy looks easy as shit until you actually sit down and start doing it.
Where is this thing? You know, I remembered for the longest time they demonetized it, and I couldn't figure out why.
Because we were singing Train, probably.
I don't think that was it, though.
I do a wonderful rendition of Drops of Jupiter.
Andrew bloopers. Okay, there's that one. And now we'll put Mike bloopers in there. Andrew, do you want to read the chat if there's anything going on?
Yeah. XP said, do it. Oh, we're doing it. We are doing it. Danny said wants to need more side story. Ah, a musical. Okay. I can't. You guys aren't ready for a musical of the Need More Side Story. Just a bunch of rednecks just snapping down the street. Trailer's on fire.
That is a fantastic name, though. Need more side story. Get it?
You always need more side story. That's that whole need more being a thing. Never gets old. Actually,
we did briefly consider a musical the year we got Family Film. Do you remember that?
Yes, because we weren't really sure where to go with it, because we were like, either way, we're probably kind of screwed. And then I think it was actually Osborne who was like, "Yeah, what if we're playing with dolls?"
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, "Oh," and it just, that's where it started, and then we kind of just morphed from there into, you know, these guys playing with dolls, they're making their own story, and then it pans out and you discover that they're real people. That, I still think that was probably, that was our first 48, right?
Yes.
Our first 48, we killed a guy.
We killed a guy.
But yeah, no, it's,
we got disqualified.
Sure did, but I still think that was one of my favorite ones that we made.
Real quick, just want to say hey to Max. Hey Max, thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, the Stuffed and Dangerous was a lot of fun to make, especially because that was kind of like, so we had gone to film festivals before, right? And every film festival we had been to had been like 3 people in the audience. We've traveled really far to film festivals and there had been like 1 person in the audience. Watching Stuffed and Dangerous at the 48-hour film project was the first time I actually sat in a completely full theater watching something we had made and screened it with other people. And so nervous, I was like shaking when our film came on. And everybody fucking loved it. They were dying laughing, and it gave like us such a boost of confidence. But it was still kind of like a surreal experience because that was our first time we had actually gotten to see our work on the big screen with a lot of other people. Yeah. I don't think you were at that screening, were you?
No, I was not. Unfortunately, I don't know that I was ever at any of the 48-hour screening. Well, they did the online screenings, and obviously I watched them from home. But and wept a little bit when we didn't win Best of Fest. But you know, it's cool. Not a baby.
Yeah.
Not
but it says Soul Sister will get that DMCA strike all day, every day.
You know, you son of a bitch, was not Soul Sister. It was Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah, Drops of Jupiter.
And then I'm pretty sure we sang Zombie by the Cranberries.
I don't remember. I don't think that's why it got copyrighted, though. But I have no idea. Sorry, it didn't get copyrighted. It just got demonetized.
Maybe it's for the LCSD.
I don't know. LCSD. I still remember that one. Oh God. But we are gonna wrap this up, guys. Any last second comments? Get them in. We'll read them. Just want to quickly thank our sponsor, Artlist, which is a subscription-based music and sound effects library. If you follow the link in the description and you sign up through that link, you can get 2 free months of Artlist. So check that out. You are sponsoring our channel and becoming a partner. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter and supporting our channel, sign up in the link below. All kinds of perks available. You can subscribe or you can support our channel for just $1, by the way, which all that stuff helps a lot. All of our films and stuff are self-funded, so that stuff just goes right back into the films and pays the actors and the crew and everything. So it really helps make our movies the best that they can possibly be. What else? Our merch is in there too. That's probably the first time I've ever plugged our merch, but it is in the link.
Our merch is
below.
in the link. Buy our merch. We need to make an Always Be Scooching shirt.
Always be scooching. Oh yeah, Andrew, what's your scooch?
Like lately, what's my scooch?
Yeah.
Shit, man, just grinding at this point. You know what I mean? Just
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso has definitely been my scooch for the past day and a half. I sat down. I think we watched I think we watched 3 episodes the first night. I sat down and watched the rest last night. I finished the whole first season. So
it's good. It's really good.
Ted Lasso was my scooch.
And for anybody in the chat that hasn't heard of the show, highly recommend it. Jason Sudeikis, Apple TV. It's called Ted Lasso. It's just such an overwhelmingly positive show. It's just so different, and I think like much needed.
Which, by the way, it's not always super happy. It's not an easy watch the whole way through,
it's just positive.
If you want a role model, it's Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Pia says, glad I caught you guys. Glad you were able to stop in, Pia. Thanks so much
for
joining us tonight. And lastly, last reminder, Stalked, our short horror film that we made for Halloween last year, will have another festival screening, and that is at the Joe Bob Briggs Mutant Festival next Friday at the Mahoning Theater in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. Follow us on Facebook for more details regarding that screening. Hope to see some familiar faces there. Is there anything else that I am forgetting before we sign off?
I think we nailed it.
I think I got everything. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Just a really quick live stream to kind of get back in the swing of things, because we took some time off. We're working on a bunch of projects on the side here.
Honeymoon to Hawaii.
But we're trying to get this YouTube thing back up to speed with the live streams and the actual content and everything. And we're gonna have some films for you guys soon too. So next live stream will be with Chloe Carroll and Brittany Snayman to promote the release of the short film Alicia. Exact date and time of that live stream will be announced in our community tab as well as on our Facebook. So subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button. Share the video if you're into that. All that good stuff.
Do it all, guys. Absolutely. And remember, always be scooching.
Always be scooching. Thanks, everybody. Great seeing you all. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.